All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Today, we're going to talk about the things that we love and the things that we hate or don't like or think that can improve with the 3 screens in the refreshed Tesla Model S. Stay tuned. All right, guys, we're talking about things that we love, things that we hate, things that we dislike about our 2021 refresh Model S screens. We can't start talking about screens without talking about the one that's right in front of your face, which is the instrument cluster or the instrument panel right here. I absolutely love the look of this. The fact that this is more of an OLED type of screen versus an LCD type of screen that's backlit is phenomenal. The contrast is amazing. It's all black, great detail, very smooth, very responsive in terms of the animations, even the autopilot ones that seem to jump around a bit from time to time. Absolutely love the look of it and the visibility of it as a whole, okay? Absolutely great screen. I love that all the information is nice and crisp. Fonts are nice and crisp. Again, the animations are very smooth. What I love about this is that it's also pretty well shielded from the sun. So you get very few reflections and glare from the sun, but you do get reflections and glare from the nature of an OLED type of screen. And this glass panel that's in front of it, there is a bit of glare from that, but not direct light from the sun. You don't see reflections from the sun bouncing off and sort of blinding you. It's more just distracting elements of the screen in front of it that overlays on top of some of the imagery. So as you see here, you start to see some reflections here of the light behind me, which is a little bit diffused, but depending on what graphics are there and depending on the time of day, it could overlay and could obstruct some of the graphics that are there. But again, they do a good job of being prominent, high contrast visuals right there on the display. So absolutely love that. Love the UI of it. Love the fact that as you put the car in gear or whatever the case may be, you get nice, good animations. Those are also good, right? Very smooth, very buttery. And then I like the fact that you have always information right here in terms of your speedometer. It's nice and big, nice and bright, and whether the car is in hold mode or not, that's also very visible. That's what we love about that. Some of the things that we don't like about that, some of the things that we sort of don't like and think could improve was just the fact that you have that screen that provides a little bit of glare that obstructs sometimes the screen. The other thing we don't like about this screen is that we don't have the customizable widgets. There used to be customizable widgets on either side of this that you could customize to maximize on the functionality of having 2 screens, having information like your regen and energy display here, having tire pressure here, or other widgets that you could have and scroll here. They're not there right now. Again, that could happen in the future software update, but as of right now, they're not there. And that makes this screen very much less valuable than it was before in terms of being able to multitask and see a variety of information in your purview. This is my favorite screen of all the Tesla screens. The size of it, the thinness of it, the smoothness of it. It is the smoothest, fastest screen that they have, and it is awesome. Lots of customization here that you can do in terms of moving the menu items around. Very responsive to the touch. No lag, even when you zoom out, no lag. You zoom in, there's no lag. It's a great screen. Feels great, looks great, is solid. Now, the things that I also love about it is the fact that it is horizontal. So you get the full media experience. You got full screen movies. You got full screen videos. You can look at the map and see everything in the map without being obstructed by visualization that would typically be on the Model 3 and Model Y screen. So you get everything that was great about the previous vertical Model S screen and X screen, but now you get the horizontal benefits of the Model 3 and Model Y screen. So this screen is absolutely amazing. I love mostly everything about it. What I don't love about it is some of the UI choices, some of the things that you can't do. You cannot hide this mini player. This is a mini media player. You cannot hide it. It doesn't go away, and you can expand it and make it bigger. You can drop it down. You can move it left and right and put it on that side, but you cannot get rid of it completely. If you just want to see the full screen map with nothing else, you can't do that. So that's a major annoyance for me here. One of the other things I don't like about this screen is the fact that I can't tilt it towards me. There was supposed to be a promised feature to tilt this screen towards you to make it a little bit more flush, which means you have to reach less distance away to get to buttons like this, which only exist right here. And so that's a problem. I would love for the screen to be able to tilt a little bit more, be more flush to the driver, and be more driver-centric, so I have a full experience and feel engulfed with the experience of the instrument panel and the actual touchscreen here. What I don't like about it is the fact that this screen actually is a bit buggy. As of this video, this screen has probably rebooted and shut down several times since ownership, right? A little over 2 months. Shut down a lot, reboot a lot. It's constantly having to reboot. It's constantly dimming and lighting back up. There may be a faulty issue with this particular screen, but I've also talked to some other owners of Plaid and long-range 2021 Model S's that also have the same issue. So there's some bugs going on here with this particular screen. I don't know if it's a heat issue. I don't know if it's a chip issue. I don't know what it is, but it becomes a little bit buggy and a little bit unreliable at times where it just doesn't come up. Now, again, this is something that probably can fix with a software update if it's software related. It also could be something that can fix with a hardware update if it's hardware related. But so far, that's been my experience. All right. One of the things I also don't like about this screen is the fact that I can't utilize the full width of certain apps. So if I pull up this, it just slides this to the side and I can just toggle it back and forth, but I can't make this maximum. I can't maximize this fully and just cover up the maps completely. If I put it in reverse, it at least centers it here, but it doesn't give me the full width. I would love to be able to maximize the full width of this screen for everything, not just, movie related apps or video related apps. Okay. So that's a problem for me in terms of the screen, but otherwise the screen is top notch. I love everything about it. Those are the small things that I have those issues with it. Most of them are software related. Some of them could be hardware related, but we'll find out over time. All right, guys, now that we talked about the front, let's talk about the rear screen. This is probably going to be my biggest gripe about the screens in the Model S is the rear screen. This is my biggest problem with the car so far, is just the lack of controls for this rear screen from the front of the car. The intention of this was that this separate screen could be controlled by individuals sitting back here, but also by people in the front. Now, if you're talking about adults or teenagers or people who can reach this screen, the screen works just fine. You can go to music, you can go to climate, you can change your seat heaters, you can turn on some entertainment, and you can really enjoy yourself in the car. However, if you are a small child that cannot reach this screen, and it's incumbent on your parents to then navigate the screen and the entertainment experience for you, this is where it falls apart. And obviously Tesla can update this with a software update in the future, and maybe that's in the cards. But as of right now, that isn't the case as of this video. And you have to try to do workarounds to try to figure out how to control this, right? So the first thing that annoys me the most about this is that when you have a person in the rear seat, this screen automatically comes on. If you don't have a person or you don't have anything large triggering the seat sensors, this screen is going to be blank. However, if you have a car seat that's in the seat in the car or a booster seat, like most parents do, even when the kid or the child is not in the car, it's going to trigger this. So what happens is if you don't have a kid in the car, you get in the car, this is going to turn on first. This will be the first screen that turns on and it'll stay on through the duration of your drive. So anyone passing by, if you don't have your windows tinted, anyone passing by, anyone that is walking by or in the adjacent lanes is going to be able to see right in here and see what's going on this screen. The secondary thing is that the thing that default comes up is the media, which is a problem, especially for passengers. Even if you think about picking up passengers, the first thing that they can do is control the media, which doesn't seem logical for this sense. I think that the first thing they should be able to do is adjust the climate. This should be the default screen for this rear screen, right? So they can come in and adjust whether or not they are hot or cold and do that first and foremost before they start to entertain themselves with media or entertainment or movies or anything like that. Okay, so that's a really big problem. That's my biggest gripe about the car is that every time I'm getting in, it's always defaulting to this. And so now you think about the use case where you're actually driving a child around and you want to keep them entertained. You can't really control this screen back here from the front while you're driving. You can do it when you're parked a little bit, but you can't do it while you're driving. So what winds up happening is if you have, for instance, any of these apps, let's just call it YouTube, for instance, you open up YouTube here and YouTube, you can't control while you're driving. You can only control it while you're parked, right? So you have YouTube up, maybe the child is watching YouTube or whatever the case may be. But if you put it in drive or you press X on the front screen to drive, what's going to wind up happening is that it's going to close this one down. It's going to go back to this home screen. And now it's going to be up to the child or the person back here to be able to reach down and press the show that they want to watch. Okay, so right now, since I can't do that while I'm driving, the next step is to come to a stoplight or a stop sign and maybe lean your chair back a little bit and reach back. When you reach around, a lot of the controls are up here out of your reach. So you can't really reach back and get to this content here. Okay, so it makes it really, really difficult. Again, this is a real big problem. Probably something that can be solved with version 11 software rather than this sort of amalgam of version 10 software for these refresh Model S's and X's. But it is what it is. All right, so that's a problem. So what I found is the solution specifically for YouTube would be to have the car in park, load up YouTube on the front screen, put the video on that you want to use, and then instead of turning the car on and putting your foot on the brake, swipe down on the screen, which will leave the rear screen running. And now you can put it in drive without exiting out the application. Okay, so that's a great solution right there. However, it doesn't circumvent the issue of ads on YouTube. Obviously, they're going to run some ads and you're going to need to be able to hit that skip button. And if the kid is trying to, continue to watch their show, you have to now reach back and try to hit that little tiny skip button while driving or while at a stop sign. Probably not advisable while driving, but while at a stoplight or something like that, or maybe you pull over to the side of the road. And it's a small touch target. So it's really hard to be able to navigate this screen while driving in the front seat. Would love for Tesla to be able to allow you to see this screen, or at least press a button. Maybe it's through the scroll wheel that could skip an ad or go to the next track or the next show or the episode or so on and so forth in there that would allow this to have more functionality, right? So this is the biggest problem with the car so far for me, specifically as a parent trying to entertain children. Would love for this to have independent controls on the front of the screen that you can operate while driving. The other problem with the rear screen is that the audio is not independent. You can't sync a Bluetooth audio headset to this screen and then let it be playing for the passengers back here. You even have the sound that's going to play out of all the speakers. I would love for Tesla to at least make the sound separated in quadrants so that the rear speakers play what's on the rear screen and the front speakers play what's on the front screen, just as an interim solution until they find a way to pair something back here with some Bluetooth headphones or something like that. So that's kind of where I think that they should go with that. Would make it a lot easier to experience, because you don't want to sit in the car and have to listen to the kid show for a whole 200, 300 mile road trip while the kid is thoroughly entertained. Then the parents are probably wearing headphones, which isn't safe to do while driving, and it's just annoying. So would love for them to be able to find a solution that allows the rear passenger seats to enjoy the screen, enjoy the audio without impeding on the entire cabin. Okay, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. If you have this particular car, if you have these issues, if you have baby seats in the back or booster seats in the back, if you're able to control this media, if your passengers in the back cannot reach this screen to control it themselves, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Until the next time, enjoy your day, enjoy your Tesla.